Hello everybody, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, which means it is time for a YouTube Live. Hey Linda, welcome. I'm so glad you were able to make it live. Yay! Oh Jean, I hope you enjoy what I make. I really do. And McKinney, Texas. I feel like I've been to McKinney, Texas, Judy, but I'm certain it's hot, even if I've never been there. Hey Kathy, hi Marva. Appreciate you guys all coming on your Saturday night. Hello, Lorraine. Hi, Rosie. Appreciate you coming. Okay, so this here is the card that I gave you the sneak peek of this morning. All right, or wait, did I give you a sneak peek today? Yes, I did. Yeah, this is the card. You can see it had the timber. I'm certain you recognize the timber embossing folder. Hi, Lenny. Hi, Glenda and Deborah and Jean and Penny and everybody. I appreciate you guys coming. Do you remember the card I made the other day where I used the Rings of Love DSP and I made the birthday card with the, in fact, I'll show it to you. Hang on just a second. This card right here, where I had used the Twigs and Sprigs embossing folder and then the die to cut out all of the pieces. And I said, hang on to those because you could make a fun card with it. So the other night on my Zoom, the craft room, I was trying to come up with the idea for a card and I was playing with these and I thought, well, you know what? If I just took a sponge dauber and kind of lightly brushed over that die cut with some evening evergreen, that would be really pretty. And this is the card that I ended up with. Very simple. I mean, this is like not a Mary card at all, right? Not even sorta. And I decided to go with no sentiment because I didn't want to clutter anything up. I didn't want to cover anything up. And so this is what I ended up with. On the inside, I turned it into a Christmas card with the Decorated with Happiness stamp set. You can see the greeting there. And then I stamped the pretty pine bough, which could be one of my favorite pine boughs ever. It's quite gorgeous, especially in evening evergreen. And then I put it on the envelope as well. All the ladies on the Zoom the Craft Room agreed it was a very pretty card. And then I got to thinking, because as I pulled out Decorated with Happiness, I saw this die right here, which is a pine bough. And it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous pine bough. This is in the Decorated Pine bundle, or a die set, which is bundled with Decorate with Happiness. So I thought, well, I'm going to make a different card. Same exact design. So big card front, small area to be decorated, and that is what I did. So let me show you the card that we're actually going to make tonight. And this is it. It's just got a black card front that has been embossed with the timber embossing folder, and then a crumb cake square and the evening evergreen pine bough and a little bow, and then the inside exactly the same. So we got the same design, two different cards. For tonight though, I'm gonna step it up one step, okay? So we're still gonna use Decorated with Happiness. We're still gonna use the bundled Decorated Pine. We're still gonna use the exact same color palette and design layout and make it just even a little bit more boom chakalaka. Hey Joyce, appreciate you coming and thank you. All right, so let's get started, shall we? All of these will be on my blog tomorrow, so you do not even need to worry about it. The first thing I'm going to do, I used my the Stylish Shapes dies. It's the next to largest square to cut out a piece of crumb cake, and I did that right from the mat that I was going to use for the card front. I've mentioned using this before, this little technique where you get to save a little weight, a little thickness, and you get to save a little cardstock. Do not recommend doing it on the inside because it makes writing a message of any sort, even hope you have a great Christmas, love Sally Sue, makes it a little bit problematic sometimes. Okay, so don't do the inside. I mean, you can, but I would only do that if you are writing in there and you can remember where you put that die cut. Okay, so I have basic black embossed in the timber embossing folder. Then that piece of crumb cake, instead of leaving it plain like I did on this one, I thought, geez, I bet I could emboss it in the Wintry 3D embossing folder. And you know, that's the one, it's got two embossing folders with it. Hang on a second. I'll show them to you. If I can find them. You know what I should do is put them in alphabetical order. Oh wait, I did, and then I forgot to leave it there. So the Wintry 3D embossing folders, you get 2. They fit in the mini cut and emboss machine. And this one is covered in snowflakes, and this one is covered in pine boughs. So I chose this one, and I embossed my crumb cake square in that, and now I'm going to adhere it to the front with liquid glue. Oh, thanks, Julie. I'm glad you like this one. And we'll just put it in the center and try to make it straight. Straight is so overrated though, right? Okay, so then I was playing along and I pulled out my evening evergreen pine bough, and I thought, well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. So I cut this with the decorated pine die. And I did actually remember, it's crazy, but I did remember to put an adhesive sheet on the back. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on the front, but we're gonna do another little something too. Now I will just tell you that this is a very intricate die cut, and when the adhesive, especially with the adhesive sheet on it, it can cause a little bit of, well, persnicketyness comes to mind. I think that's a valid word for it. It can be a little persnickety. Just be patient. I did run this through a few times to make it cut out better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off the backing and see if that helps me get the chads out. But the other thing I've done is I have taken a piece of the glimmer paper in Evening Evergreen and also cut that out, okay? And I'm going to layer it like this. Those white parts are backing that didn't come off when I took it out of the die. So should I do with the glimmer up or like so? What do you guys think? Plain up, cardstock up on the top, or the glimmer paper on the top? Go ahead and I'll give you a few seconds to kind of vote. I'll even be watching. Glimmer up. We have someone says glimmer up, 2 glimmers up. They're zoomed in just a little bit. So this is with the cardstock up. This is with the glimmer up. Oh, it's I've got 1 or 2 plain up, but glimmer up is a clear winner. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna pull off my, now I just want to be sure you can see. I'm gonna zoom back out just a little bit because I am likely to get out of the field of view there if I'm not careful. All right, so let me pull off the adhesive backer. And that pulled a lot of those little chads out, so I'll just go ahead and give those a little push here. Oh. Remember, your chads have stickum on it, so, you know, try not to stick your chads to your card front, which I was almost about to do, because I had forgotten about that. See, it wants to stick there. All right, so there we go. I don't think I have any chads that are going to get in the way. Okay. And then we're going to put this about there, like that. Like so. Bling wins. That's exactly right. Hey, Joyce, it's okay. A lot of people, there were few folks that wanted the plain. It was just, you know, we're sort of a democracy here. See, look at that. I did have a hanging chad or 12. Let me see if I can get those out from under there. They'll probably get covered by the glimmer paper, so I'm probably going to be stressing over them for nothing, but, you know, if I didn't have something to stress over, what would life be, really? I thought when I retired I wouldn't have anything to stress over, and it was kind of true, and so I have to stress over hanging chads. There we go. Okay. All right, now let's see if Mr. Glimmer Paper will do me the same favor and pull some of those chads out. So this glimmer paper has kind of a thick backer on it as any hooch. Okay, everybody hold your breath. It's doing pretty, oh, still not taking all of them, but that's okay. We can work with this. We'll get them out. It's not like there was a whole lot to this card, so it shouldn't take me too long once I get all the chads out. Why do chads hang? What has Chad got about, what has he got against leaving? That's what I'm asking. Get out of there, Chad. Your days are numbered here, buddy. Nobody wants you. Yes, indeed it is from, yeah, from several elections ago. Isn't it funny the things that start new things? We didn't even know we barely knew what a Chad was. Here's a question. Did Chad exist before that? Was it even a word, or was it a word they came up with to describe the little piece of the thingy-who's-it that hangs down from a ballot? Also, I didn't even know ballots had those things, because I can't actually remember a time when I used a paper ballot. Gosh, I mean, I'm not that old. I'm pretty old, but I'm not so, well, I don't know. I didn't even know what a Chad was, let alone one that hung anywhere. But it certainly was a thing. Okay, and if they had put adhesive sheet on their Chads, whoo, they'd have had some big hangers-oners. That's some sticky stuff when it wants to be. It's good stuff, Maynard. If you got a detailed die like this, just plan to spend a minute or two getting the Chads out, but it'll be worth it, because then you won't have to use liquid glue and potentially have liquid glue in places you just didn't want it. Okay, you can see I've got some Chads there. All right, chicken or the egg? It's exactly. Oh, wow. I did not know that. Okay. Chads are coming off. They're finally starting to cooperate. At least they're easier to see when they're green. But see, they're sticking to my fingers. That'll be the next thing. I'll look, and Finn will have a hanging evergreen glimmer paper Chad on his nose. Okay. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to just cross it kind of right there at the top and just offset it a little bit like that. Okay. Now, let me get those off of there because that's making me crazy. We gardened today and I've had things on me all day that just, I don't want anything on me right now. No. I was attacked by a frog. Not really. He was like this big. And he jumped on the side of the bowl I was using to harvest the kale. And he looked right at me and I looked at him. I mean, he was this big and brown, light brown, just as cute as he could be. And he looked right at me and Wayne started to say, "Mary," and he jumped on me. And I freaked out. I did. I screamed just like a girl and I flung the kale to the ground and he kind of did a bank shot off of me. So I was a little embarrassed because he was really cute. I had just said, "Gosh, you're really cute." And he jumped on me, which I thought was a little presumptuous, really. Just saying. A little presumptuous of him. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over and give it a good rub. You can see where my die cut was. So I really still did not want a sentiment, and I am going to use the metallic dots, the festive pearls. But I think this one is just stepped up enough. I think it needs a double loop linen thread bow. That's me, and that's what I'm going to do, and it's my card, and so that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to zoom this down just a little bit, and hopefully I'll stay in frame. I'll try to watch. Okay, so to make a double loop linen thread bow, you're going to hold the end of the thread between your thumb and your forefinger, and then you're going to wrap 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to wrap around 2 fingers 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then cut the end. And I actually did do a video short, a YouTube short. So there's a short on here that gives you that same video. Okay, and then you're going to bring the two together. You see you have a small loop inside a larger loop. You're going to bring the ends together so you're holding on opposite sides of each other. And then you're going to twist the top over, the left side over the top, like that. And then you're going to take your tweezers Oh, they, it was very tiny. It looked like a tree frog, but it was light brown. I mean, it was very light. It didn't, I mean, like light bodied. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't thick bodied like I think of a toad, but I don't know. In Mary's land, if they hop and they croak with whatever language they use, they're a frog. But yeah, I know what you mean. Because when I looked it up, there were toads and frogs. Okay, so now I have my linen thread bow in a figure 8 held by my tweezers. I'm going to cut another piece of the linen thread, and I'm going to tie this around the middle of the figure 8, right by where the tweezers are holding. And you kind of want to not get your tweezers in the mix, okay? So you can see what I've done there, right? Okay, so I'm just going to do, I did one overhand tie, and now I'm going to do another one. So I have a double overhand knot there, and then I can take my tweezers out, because I did have them in there. And then you're going to ferrofossitize it, okay? By which I mean, you're going to get rid of those little pieces. Look at that, those little boogers. Those little boogers. They're sticky little boogers. There's going to be one when I take the pictures. I'm certain of it. All right. So then I'm just going to play with it a little bit to make it pretty and kind of flousy-frowsy. And pull the loops apart like so. To make it kind of fancy. It's going to be a little fancy, a little fancier than the bows on the first two that I've done. Like that. And then this is going to go right there, like so, with a glue dot. Oh, glue dots, where are you? Here we go. Hop toads. Yes, yes, we called them hop toads too. Little tiny hop toads. We must have approximately 3.7 billion of them, of all different kinds. I really did not know that they had such a diverse language, but you can say that's one of my favorite things is in the summer or in the spring and the fall when they're out, but it's still cool enough that I can sleep with the windows open. I really love it because they all live by my pond. And they just sing and sing and sing. All right, so there's Farrah's hair, cleverly disguised as a linen thread bow. And then we'll get some of these festive pearls. And I'm thinking I'm going to go a little wild and try these red ones. Make it just a little more festive. A little more festive. And then I'll put one over here. And that's it for the card front. So really the same exact design, same exact elements, same exact colors, but one is a little stepped up and one is a little more simple. Thanks, Debbie. All right, so let's get the inside done. I've just got a piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp. Now, let me just say this. With this card here, I actually think you could put any sentiment on the inside that you wanted. It could be a birthday. It could be a I love you. It could be you're my friend. It could be hello. It could be get well. It could be with sympathy. It could be all sorts of things. This one, especially with the addition of the red festive pearls instead of gold, I kind of think it really kind of wants to be Christmas. So that's my thought on it. You do you. But I'm going to use Christmas Greetings from Decorated Pine. Or I'm sorry, from Decorated with Happiness. I kind of do too. You know me, Beverly. I like a little extra, a little bling, and I love a double loop linen thread bow. I really, really do. Yeah, that's my favorite right there. Okay, so I'm going to stamp Christmas Greetings right here in Crumb Cake ink. Thanks, Shirley. Appreciate it. And then I'm going to take the beautiful pine bough the detailed pine bough from Decorated with Happiness, and I'm going to stamp it twice in Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to go right here. I'm going to stamp right there once in full strength ink. Now, I'm going to stamp again in Stamped Off Once. I could just go back and stamp right now, okay? But here's the dealio. You see that line right there? Can you see the line in the video? That's where the edge of the stamp hit the edge of this card. From here, this direction, you may not have an even inking anymore. So if you have any doubt, don't just do another stamp, because there's nothing worse than getting a stamped off image that isn't right because your ink was wonky. So just re-ink and stamp the whole thing on your scrap paper, and then you can come back with the confidence of knowing that you've got the same amount of ink all over that stamped image. Okay, let me do the envelope right quick like a bunya. Thank you, Audrey. Appreciate it. All right, and I'm just going to do really the same thing. I'm going to stamp it in the corner. Then I'm going to ink it up, stamp once, offset it, and stamp it here. And then here, what I did for the flap is I stamped twice in really essentially full strength, and this time I overlapped the fold so that it'll show on the front of the card. Now, if you're going to mail this, you're probably going to have an address label there, so you might not want to do that. But if this is a hand-given card, you could certainly leave it off. On my original sample, no, the original sample, I didn't do that. I just stamped like that. So you can do whatever works for the kind of card that you're creating. Then I'll go ahead and do another stamped image like so. Okay? In Mary's world, there's no such thing as too many pine boughs. Okay, so that's done. Let's go ahead and finish off our card. I'm just going to use a little liquid glue to adhere this to. Y'all are welcome. I'm glad, hope it helps as you are in your stamping journey. And you know, second generation is cool because really it almost looks like you're using two different colors, right? It almost looks like you've got Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent, but you've only needed one ink pad, so it's really handy. All right, so we'll put it on our crumb cake mat, and then we're going to put it into a thick basic white card base. And we will be, as they say in some industry somewhere, doneske. Every time I say that, I think of Mike Myers saying donkey in Shrek. Donkey. Donkey. There we go. Now, when I showed Rosie this card earlier, she said, "Are you okay?" Because actually I showed her this one. And I said, "Is it a little too clean and simple?" Yeah, this just isn't my kind of card usually, but I do like this. I really like how this looks, and I think it's a pretty design and it's so easy to do, really. It would be I think it would be a good one for multiples. So if you like to die cut and you like putting things together, then hey, Kathy, we'll see you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend as well. Then it would be a good Christmas card. And we're going to pop this on with some dimensionals, which obviously I'm betting you could tell since I'm putting dimensionals on it. That was the Department of Redundancy department, Mary. All right, and before you go, I want to show you one more thing after we get this done. So hang with me for just a second, because I want to show you another good Christmas card option. All right. Yes, absolutely. It would be a really good masculine card. Absolutely. All righty, here we go. And I'm going to adhere that like so. And this one is a little bit longer than I like. I'm going to trim that down. Come on, Farrah. Don't be so frowsy. Okay, and there's our card with the coordinating envelope. And done and done. Now, what I wanted to tell you about, because it's very cool, I just ordered and got the new Cozy and Bright card kit. And it made 12 cards, and I did them in about an hour. Now, the card design is supposed to be portrait like this, but I changed it up to be horizontal or landscape. I love the star of anise, the oranges and the cinnamon sticks. To me, this is a classic Christmas card, and it has beautiful gold foil, and it has enough sentiments in the set that come with it that you could really do almost any combination. You've got all is cozy and bright like I've done on the inside. You've got may this holiday warm your heart, wishing you a Merry Christmas, celebrate the season, orange you glad it's Christmas, and happy Christmas and a joyous New Year. So quite a few options. You get enough to make 12 cards, and everything is in it. You get a Poppy Parade ink pad, you get the stamp set, you get an acrylic block, you get dimensionals, you get linen thread. It's beautiful. So I think this one is going to sell out. I really, really do, because it's really, really awesome. So if you want it, you really should think about getting it. They even decorated the envelopes for you. Okay? 12 cards, $23 in about an hour. So pretty well perfect. Alrighty, guys. Oh, sorry. Card is out of screen. There we go. Oops. Let me unzoomify here. I can't unzoomify. So here we go. That should be okay. Right there. There, you can see it. Pretty card, right? Yay! All right, guys. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And hopefully I'll see you on Thursday for my Facebook video at 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursday afternoon. All right. See ya. Ta.